Picture Book Woman presents Pat Gramling on using picture books and related activities to celebrate Veterans Day.
Veterans Day is a day set aside to honor and thank U.S. veterans for their service. It is a time to acknowledge their contribution to our national security and show in some way our appreciation for their sacrifices. Veterans Day is also a time to recognize and express gratitude to those now serving in our military. Celebrating or even talking about Veterans Day can be a challenge. Some families may be struggling with heavy emotional burdens. Others may have chosen to simply refuse to talk about military service for personal or political reasons. Concepts like patriotism and freedom are often too abstract for young learners to truly understand. War, with its death and destruction, is also difficult to discuss. So, in planning for Veterans Day, it is important to be sensitive to both learners' needs and to their emotional maturity. Veterans Day, known as Remembrance Day in some countries, is a legacy of the First World War, which began in 1914. This was the first technologically modern war, and at the time it was thought to be the war to end all wars. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, an armistice was declared. The fighting stopped. People celebrated in the streets. Many promised to remember and honor those who fought and or died in this great war. John McCrae, a Canadian surgeon on the battlefields of Belgium, wrote the poem In Flanders Fields, the day his friend was killed and buried in a makeshift grave. He was expressing his fervent hope that the deaths he saw were not in vain. In Flanders Fields is a powerful picture book telling the story of this poem. It alternates pages of information about Lieutenant Colonel McCrae's life and work and somber illustrations for each line of the poem. When using the book in a story hour or with young learners, I will use paper clips to join the pages so that we only share the poem pages. Poppies have throughout history bloomed profusely on battlefields and wartime graves. The popularity of this poem has made this flower a symbol of remembrance and hope. Activities involving poppies are great extensions to the study of the poem. Make paper poppies of different sizes for bouquets and decorations. Ask children to draw their own pictures to go with the poem. Create your own book of pictures and verse to go with the holiday. Do a research project to discover why poppies grow where war has been. Take a virtual field trip to Flanders Fields and other military sites and cemeteries. You can also follow up with a visit to veterans or war monuments and memorials. Several can be found in Washington, D.C., but you can likely find one near or in your own hometown. Some are monuments, some are graves or tombs, and many are sculptures. One of these is the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, known as The Wall, which honors those Americans who lost their lives in Vietnam. The Wall, a very moving book by Eve Bunting, relates a visit by a young boy and his father who look for his grandfather's name on this memorial. They leave a picture at the wall. The story becomes a more powerful experience by sharing images from offerings at the wall. This coffee table book is a collection of photographs of actual items left at the wall in tribute to lost loved ones. Our own Wall of Honor has been a very successful and meaningful Veterans Day project. I started with my father, honoring his service in the Marines in the South Pacific in World War II. Children bring in photographs of family, friends, and neighbors to be copied and displayed. These photos and other pictures and memorabilia are displayed in a hallway at school for all to see. There are several other activities for Veterans Day that extend into all curriculum areas. Interview a veteran. Create maps or timelines of service. Study and compare emblems of various branches of military service. Learn about medals and service recognition ribbons. Write a thank you note to a person on active duty. In Flanders Fields and The Wall are only two of many excellent picture books that deal with military personnel and their families, as well as veterans. Information about these books and many of the activities mentioned in this presentation are available on my website, along with many more ideas for learning with picture books.
This video presentation was written and performed by Pat Gramling, the Picture Book Woman. For more activities and ideas for using picture books to enhance learning, please visit her website at www.picturebookwoman.com.